Hello, hey, New Covenant Deacon Board. Hope you all are having a great day. I want to do this quick video to accompany this email for the request for a drum enclosure. And I want to talk about the benefits of having that and also share with you just some information that I found and to see if it's something you guys would like to move forward with or not. So last year we did add a request for this under one-time purchases, and the request was for $8,000. And since then, I've been looking and talking with a couple of companies that make these drums enclosures, and nothing has really panned out. To be honest, a lot of them I felt were really overpriced. I couldn't find reviews, so I really just kind of, just kind of kept looking. But I found something that I think would be very beneficial to us, and I feel like it's a great price. I feel like there are great reviews, people that are using this product. I spoke to the owner of this company, Reveal Innovations, Aaron, and Aaron actually, now I have no way of confirming this, but this is from him. He was one that started doing drum enclosures back in the day. And from there, they have come a long way. Other companies started, but he has a unique way of building them to where his brand, they typically see a 40% reduction in the sound of the drums, which is really awesome. He was sharing with me, typically it's around 25%, but the way that he builds his, especially the particular model that I'm looking at, it consistently gets about 40% reduction in as far as how loud the drums are. And this is from other services and churches, other churches and people that are using his product. So I wanted to kind of just share with you why I feel we need a drum cage or a drum enclosure. And a drum enclosure, basically you think of it as a room, like a little room. There are pictures in his email, but it's a little tiny room with a drum set, and it has glass around it so the drummer can see. It has a fan, it has lights in there. It's really cool. A lot of churches are going to these simply because everybody's having the same problem. They're trying to tame the drums. The drums are the loudest instrument typically you're going to hear up here on the stage. And we have this right now. So we have a cage that kind of does a little bit, but you can see back here, the sound is going to come out. It's going to come up here. It's going to carry up. Also, it still spills out into, like, even up here, you see that has these little edges. Now we have something on top, but the sound is always spilling out from the drum set, and it goes into the microphones. So as we're singing on Sunday mornings, the drums that are up here, it's spilling out into the microphones. And there it caused an issue because, for instance, the singers that we have on Sunday morning or anytime, any singers, none of our singers have inner ear monitors. Now I take that back. Chris Williamson does because he's a musician as well. So he plays the guitar, but he has it. But our musicians have headphones that they can put on so they can hear the music. For the singers, we all rely on these two monitors that's facing us. We have one here. Oh, wait, yep, that's one. And on the other side over there by the keyboard, up right there, that's the other one. So all of the singers, we rely on those two so we can hear ourselves sing, okay? But again, the biggest complaint I get from singers is that I cannot hear myself, okay? Now, if a singer tell me they can't hear themselves, guess what I do, right? I go into my mixer and I turn them up. But I'm also turning up the drums because the drums are spilling over to the mics, right? You see? And then from there, we're just kind of having a competition of, you know, who can be the loudest, pretty much. So it would definitely help us to better control the drums, reduce the sound, reduce the volume of the drums on stage, particularly on stage, because out there in the audience, Sam or whoever is running the sound can control what's coming from that end. And also it'll help us to level out our drummers, because some of our drummers they play light. They don't play really heavy. Some of them play really heavy. So it'll allow us to have more of a consistent sound. It'll help us to communicate better on stage, and it'll help our singers to hear themselves, because when you can't hear yourself and you're singing, and it makes you sing louder, and a lot of times it can just put a strain on you because you're competing with so much to get your voice across. So those are the things that I really feel like will be beneficial to New Covenant. It'll help the entire room I believe it'll help the entire just worship experience for people here at New Covenant to give us more of a consistent sound. We can reduce that drums that's just bleeding out into this room, and just help us do a better job as a worship team as well with communication and singing. So I just wanted to share that with you. We do have an option to get a drum cage or enclosure that is originally priced for around $10,000. Talking with Aaron, he has one that he offered a 20% discount, and he said he does that from time to time because it'll have a blemish. You know how companies make something and it might have a scratch on it or something, and they'll reduce the price. That's exactly what this is. So we have an opportunity to get one for right around that 8,000 mark that I mentioned or initially requested. So now that will probably go up some because there would be shipping costs. If you decide to move forward, it'd be a shipping cost to get it here. But yeah, that's something that's available. Those do not come around often. So I'm not trying to put any pressure on you to make a decision. But they don't come around too often. But he does have one right now that I checked out. It's actually in his email. It's the one that's not finished. If we do decide to get that, he's going to paint it whatever color we want and go from there. So it's actually the one that has the wood finish right now. It was actually not finished. It's just the wood. That's the one that we're looking at. And that one typically is about $10,000, but we can get it for $79.90. Okay, $7,909. So again, just wanted to put this video so you can hear from me the reasons why I feel like we could definitely use that. It would really just once and for all, it will once and for all just help us to tame the drums. And this really becomes really a big issue on first Sundays because we have the choir. And that's one of the issues where we kind of have some tension between me and Sam. It's good tension. We kind of go back and forth because what happens on a choir Sunday, you have to have the choir mics hotter or you have to have them up louder to pick up everybody because it's the way that it's set up. Well, guess what? The drums are feeding right over into that. He's picking up a lot of the drums in that. So what he does is pull it back. Well, when he pull it back, I can't hear them. They're not coming out of the monitors right. So I'm like, Sam, I understand you have to pull them back, but can you give me something because I can't hear them and they need to hear themselves in the monitors. And he's like, well, I can't cut it up, Keith, because the drums are going to spill over. And when the drums spill over, now you have the drums and the voices, and the mics are going to peak, and it's going to start to cause interference, and then you get into all the all the squeals on the mics and things. So I think this would just help us to finally tame the drums. Let's tame the drums. That's what that would do, and give us more control over how loud they are. And in the process, we'll be able to communicate better as a team. And I feel like it'll help the singers hear themselves and feel like they don't have to yell, and just have a better worship experience, even with us leading worship. And I know it'll help out in the sanctuary as well. Okay, that's about it. That's my pitch. That's my pitch. Okay, but yeah, just wanted to do a video. Thank you all for taking time to look at this video, and we'll go from there. All right, thanks. Bye.